My name is Cynthia Taylor. You may have heard about me from the others, but I am I've been with Southern Tech a couple of years now, but just a little bit about myself, Florida born native. How many natives are in the building? Give me a thumbs up if you're a native. Now I'm talking about you were born here. None of that. I've been here since I was 3. Yeah, I guess that counts, but we still exist. Look at that. Oh my God, I'm so excited. We still exist, y'all. Now, I can't brag too much because I left right out of high school. So let me go ahead and be honest. I left right out of high school, and that was a very, 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 very long time ago. Um, Before the years started with the twos. So just let you know how long ago that was. Um, and I went to U.S. Army. Any veterans in the building? You don't have to be from the Army. It's okay. I was in the military for quite about 11 years or so, and then I did come back to Florida for a little bit. I came back and I started working in finance. I worked for a couple of nonprofits. I also worked for a couple of banks, did some portfolio management, investment accounting, corporate finance type stuff. That's when I decided to, I actually got recruited to start teaching back in, oh my goodness, 2008. Was it 2008? Yeah, something like that. Was it? It was a long time ago. I, when did I start teaching? No, what am I talking about? No, I started teaching. Oh, wow, it's been so long ago. It's been 20 years. You guys can do the math. It's been that long ago. I got recruited to start teaching. And then after I did that for a little bit, I actually started my doctoral dissertation. I went over to Ghana, West Africa, and I was doing some doctoral research there. I worked at a university there. I got married, came back, and I went to New York and I was working in on Staten Island for a nonprofit there and did some work for the city of New York and was also teaching for some colleges there. And then I was living in New Jersey as well. Anybody from that region? I've lived all over. I lived in Chicago, I lived in Georgia, Jersey, New York, everywhere. But came back here after I had a daughter and I kind of wanted her to kind of live, a little bit slower pace. So I moved back here and been working in finance and colleges in consulting, doing a lot of consulting work, work for the Department of Commerce and stuff like that. So I have a very eclectic background. And that's my story. So I won't ask you guys, and oh yeah, so I teach business, I teach primarily finance and organizational behavior and stuff like that. But also teach technology and I teach some law classes as well. All right. So with that being said, we're going to do a little shout out because this class is very eclectic as well. You guys from all over Florida, and we'll see that here in a minute. And it's quite a large class. I see people are still rolling in, so I do want to go ahead and give that disclaimer. You don't have to be on video because there's 6 different campuses all over Florida, including ATAs in the building. Give me a thumbs up if you're from the ATA campus down in Fort Myers. Hi, y'all. So there's going to be quite a few of us. I know the first couple of days, people are still trying to figure things out. There's probably someone still sleeping that says, I didn't know I had class. They'll be rolling in the next few days, right? We won't talk about them though, all right? So I know a lot of you are probably thinking like, why this class? Give me a thumbs up if you know why this class. You've been told why this class. You don't have that question. Give me a thumbs up if you know why. Okay. And with your knowledgeable selves. Okay. Okay. We know why. All right, give me a thumbs up if you're like, man, I thought I was about to be out of here. Then they told me I had to take some online thing called career prep. What the heck? If that's you, it's okay. I won't be mad. That you? Give me a thumbs up if that's you. Okay. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your honesty. That's all right. We're going to dispel the myth. That's okay. I like to introduce myself anyway. They don't have to tell you about me. Well, I'm going to tell you why this class. Firstly, there is, I think we all can agree that we are all going to go work for a business. We agree with that, right? We're all going to work for somebody's business, or we're going to start our own. We agree with that, right? So, do you agree with this statement that understanding business is an asset for a trade student? Who agrees with that statement? Understanding business is an asset. Yeah, we can understand from that standpoint, right? Because why? It's important to know what you're doing beyond what you're doing, right? Beyond just the hands-on work. Um, there's also leadership and entrepreneurship for those of us that want to start our own business, long-term financial success, just understanding the difference between how you want to live your life and how your career feeds into that. You need to understand the different aspects of how a company works. Yeah, right. And so, but probably the most important thing is the one that we're going to start at the bottom, and that's career advancement. You need to understand how to use your career as a tool to advance what your life. No? I think we all agree that getting a degree, and if you saw on that previous slides, I have a few of them. And let me tell you, none of them said, girl, let me show you how to use me so you can be successful. They say, here's your piece of paper. Go be fruitful, my friend. You still need to figure out what to do with that piece of paper. No? Would you agree with that? You still need to say, okay, what do I do now? Some of us are already a little bit panicked because we're thinking, okay, what's going to happen now? Do I just get a job? Like, how does this thing work, right? So this class hopefully is going to help set you up for success in terms of helping you to navigate your career plan, which, drum roll please, you will be setting up. You will be setting up. So the class is all about helping you to navigate your career. And we're going to start that process by supporting you in developing your own career plan. And let me give a disclaimer. If I sound like I'm slurring a little bit, I did. My tooth broke in the back. Can y'all believe it? My tooth broke. So I'm just scratching my tongue with my tooth. Anybody knows what that feels like. It's very painful. So I don't have a slur, it's just my tooth. So I'm trying to deal with it. So does that make sense? So that's what we're going to talk about. Before we do that, let's do a quick little round table. Now, I already asked the question, but I'll just ask again because I want you guys to understand who's in the room. And I want you to understand as I talk about career, I'll give a lot of different examples, and I don't want you to say, why is she talking about that? Because that's all you need to understand who's in the room. So let's do a quick round table. Everybody from the ATA campus, give me a thumbs up. That's Fort Myers, if you didn't know. Y'all see them. Y'all see them. Everybody say, hey, Fort Myers. All right. Who's from Tampa? Any Tampa in the building? Is that still ATA? Okay, that's Tampa. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. What about Orlando? Who's in the house? And let me give you guys a disclaimer. It should be almost 60 of us. So, okay, I only see a few thumbs up from Orlando. Orlando's a pretty big campus. Okay, 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 there they go. What about Sanford? Hey, y'all. I used to travel to Sanford. Sanford, you guys are in my backyard, so I come there every now and then. Who I missed? Tampa? Anybody from Tampa? Okay, y'all see, right? Y'all see what's happening. Brandon, what about Brandon? Okay, Brandon. And okay, y'all see, right? Was it Arbondale? Anybody from Arbondale? Not yet. All right. Now, give me a thumbs up if you're in the VA program. Veterinary assistant. Veterinary assistant. I know some people here are like, what's that? Veterinary. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're all sharing. You're all sharing. What about the welding program? Give me a thumbs up if you're in the welding program. Okay. So yes, you'll be learning about each other's careers. Electrical. Electrical. Look at it. Mm-hmm. Y'all see him. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, geez. Okay. 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 Oh my God. Y'all see him, right? All these electrical thumbs. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Give somebody else a chance. What about HVAC? Where's my HVAC? Where's my HVAC? We all need HVAC right now. I wish somebody could help me with my car. My my air conditioning went out. Jeez. All right. Y'all see it, right? All right. So with that being said, we are going to talk about a lot. I will use the little experience that I have in those respective fields. My experience comes from working for new construction homes. So I know a little bit about welding, HVAC, and electrical. But I'm going to lean on you guys a lot when we have these discussions. And so my veterinary assisting students, we will lean on you when we talk about anything medically related. All right, so we're going to help each other. This class, my friends, is all about you. All about you. Before I get started with that, I just want to know, does anybody have any questions? Like, before we get started, any questions? Or are you just like, okay, no, I'm just gonna wait to see what you're talking about? All right. You can go ahead and put your hand down, Zahid. Um, just so you know how I tend to engage with each other, you don't have to be on video. Actually, I won't be on video after today, but I'm on video, so you'll know who's talking to you. A lot of my interaction with you will be via thumbs up, smiley face, different types of emojis. If you raise your hand, that means you have a question, right? So if I ask you a quick little respond here or there, just use your emojis. If you have a question, you are free to ask a question at any time, even if I'm in the middle of the seminar. You have a question, just raise your hand. I will ask. I prefer that you do it that way. I don't want anyone to get lost. I've been told that I speak a little fast, so I'm going to try to slow down. Now, I blame Florida for that because when I lived in the Midwest, anybody ever lived in the Midwest? They speak very slowly in the Midwest. And so my speech slowed down tremendously when I lived up in Chicago, in Illinois, rather. And then it picked back up when I came back down to Florida. So um, I tend to, I guess we all are chameleons, right? So my speech varies. It just depends on where I live. So if I speak really fast, just don't be afraid to ask me to repeat myself or whatever, or slow down, Miss Taylor. All right, we all good? You don't have to be on video. Just sometimes it slows down our system, well, not our system because it's cloud-based, but whatever. Sometimes it slows it down. All right. So like I said, this class is all about you. So for some of you, it's going to be great, because it's going to give you an opportunity to explore your career and what it is you're trying to do. And so the work that we do in this class will be beneficial to you and you'll be fine. For others that aren't really wanting to think that far ahead, you may have a little bit of a hard time with it. But I promise you, if you put the mindset, if you get yourself in this frame that I'm going to use this tool that I learned in this class to further my career, I'm going to take everything Ms. Taylor taught me and I'm going to use it as a tool to further my career, then the class will be very, very easy. So I want you to start to think about, why is this going that way? Okay. I want you to start to think about, how everything that we're doing in this course is going to be to support you. So to that end, understanding business is a powerful tool, like we started out. If you're running a business, right, you need to understand how the business operates, whether it's a marketing standpoint, a legal standpoint. If it's financial, y'all all know, how the money flows in and flows out is very, very important. Many of you will be working on projects, so I'll use a lot of examples of project management because some of you may work in organizations that have contracts, whether they're government contracts or commercial contracts. And so you may have a lot of project-based work. But most importantly, you need to understand, what is my career going to look like 10 years from now? What is my career going to look like 20 years from now? Regardless of whether I'm at somebody else's company or I want to run my own, yeah, I need to understand the constructs of business, but I need to understand, more importantly, how I'm going to navigate through that, right? So as we learn all about us, what I want you to start to think about is what's going to get me from point A to point B. Let's all pretend that we have a empty tool bag right now. And this bag is my career plan. We need some tools to help us, right? One of the tools that you're going to need is to understand, when you're in an interview, A, what is it that they want you to say? B, what is it that you want to ask, right? There is a technique to interviewing. Give me a thumbs up if you know that. It is not a simple, okay, I want to see what you look like. I'm going to ask you a few questions. You're going to ask me a few questions and we're just going to leave. There's a technique to interviewing. I am going to dispel this myth of interviewing. I feel like a lot of us, myself included, we're afraid of the interview process because it's the fear of the unknown. Most people lose fear when they know what is expected. I'm going to teach you what is expected in an interview. I'm going to show you how to master an interview. I'm going to show you how to take control of the interview process, such that when you walk into an interview, you're walking in there confident. You understand what they're looking for, how to answer those questions, and even if you don't get the job, at least you can ace the interview, because sometimes it's not even about whether you answer well or not. There's a competition, there's a lot of factors involved, but what's most important is you feeling good, you knowing that I put my best foot forward. I know I'm a great candidate. whether I get chosen or not, at least I don't feel bad because I was not prepared and I didn't know what to do. So we're going to give you that tool. We're also going to give you another tool. It's called informational interviewing. Most of us, especially if you're older like myself, we use informational interviewing. You probably have never heard of it as informational interviewing. You may have heard of it as picking someone's brain. Who's heard of that phrase before? Picking someone's brain. Anybody ever say, hey, let me pick your brain real quick? Or you may say, let me run something past you. Have anybody, right? That is actually a tool. It's a tool that we use in business a lot. You are essentially interviewing someone else to gain knowledge. You're not doing an official interview. You're doing exactly what we used to call it. You're picking their brains. How many times have you sat down with your supervisor, maybe at lunch? You'd be like, hey, boss, let me run something past you right quick, or let me ask you a quick question, or what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Or someone that you may admire. It could be your uncle at a barbecue, or your next door neighbor, or your spouse, right? So we run things past people all the time, but it's actually a tool that we use in careers, and we call it informational interviewing. And so I'm going to show you the official way of how to do that and how it is going to help you in building your career. Obviously, we can't do anything without our resumes. Put yourselves on mute. Let me mute. Okay. All right. We can't do anything without our resumes. Give me a thumbs up if you have a resume. All right. Okay. Oh, good. Good, good, good. I like it. All right. So some of you probably wrote your resume. Maybe someone else helped you to write it. You will be updating your resume and writing a resume if you don't have it in this class. And you'll be working with career services, and career services is going to be very pivotal in this course. What I'm going to do with you is I'm going to teach you how to write a resume. You'll physically write it with career services, but I want you to deconstruct the resume writing process. And you are going to know how to write resumes, even if you don't write them hereafter and you use other tools. I want to show you how to write a resume. I promise you, when I'm done, you'll know exactly what goes into that. To help dispel that myth, you can put that into your toolkit. We'll also do, even though it's not on here, is an actual career outline, right? So we're going to fold your career outline as the body of that bag, that career bag. And you're going to have all of these tools in it, plus more, like networking is going to be a huge tool that we'll talk about in this course. And by the time that we're done with this class, I promise you, you're going to be more confident. I haven't had a student tell me otherwise yet, right? So I'm really happy about that. All right. What I want to do now, I want to switch gears a little bit and just talk about the structure of the class now that you understand what we'll talk about in this class, right? We'll talk about that stuff, but we'll talk about a whole bunch of other stuff too. But those are some of the main tools I want you to walk away with. Let's talk about just, some housekeeping, like when we start and how the class is, right? All right. The class runs every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You are in an online environment. That means that your class room is open 24 hours. However, you still have what we call a class session, right? And it runs from 9 to 12:30. Every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you'll have what's called a live session, right? Your time with the instructor. That time will only run for the first hour in the first week. As we get into the class, you'll start doing more assignments. and the live session will reduce down to like 45 minutes. In week 4, you'll be doing, you'll be wrapping up. So we will probably be on here still maybe 30 to 40 minutes. I want to manage your expectations. That's great news for some. um, what does that mean? That means that number one, if you want time with me during the live session where I go over everything, I go over the assignments after we have, I go over all the chapters. You understand exactly what you're doing. I really strongly encourage you to come to the live session. I haven't had anybody that comes to the live session that does not pass this class with high scores because I tell you exactly what to do, right? If there's any hiccups, whatever you need, we always discuss it in the live session. However, coming to the live session is not feasible for everyone for various reasons. Maybe you have to drop your kid off. I know I have to drop my daughter off at school in the morning. Maybe you have a doctor's appointment. Some of you may have already started work. So you do have another option. Like I said to you, the session is recorded. I always give the disclaimer when I start recording because I just don't want you, saying anything that you don't want someone else to hear, because these live sessions do go up on YouTube for my class students to access, and they stay up throughout the course. If you are not able to make the live session, let's say you have a doctor's appointment and you won't be out until 10:30, that's totally fine. As soon as I'm done with the live session, I post it, and I'm going to walk through the class, so don't worry. I'm going to walk you through the class. I post it in the designated section, and you can come home at 10:30. You can click on the live pre-recorded session that we had, and you can watch the video. It's going to be important that you do that because every live session, at the end of the live session, I give you what's called a participation question. Sometimes it's really easy, especially in the first week. Other times it's a little mini assignment that you have to do. And that must be done by 12:30 because technically your live session runs from 9 to 12:30. So what happens during the rest of the time after you're done with the live session? Where you go, you do your work, you turn in your participation question before 12:30. Some people get started on their other assignment, which I'll discuss in a minute. You can call the teacher during that time. 9 to 12:30 is your time, so you can reach out to me at 11 o'clock. I'm available to you until 12:30. I'm available to you anytime, but I'm just gonna, for the sake of understanding, because I do have a night class. 9 to 12:30 is your time. So don't feel like, oh my God, it's 11 o'clock. We already had our live session. I can't reach out to Miss Taylor. You can, right? Because I want you to be successful. Now, I have extended, and I'm going to show you something in a minute. Sometimes I do extend this time, especially in the first week, because I already know that people are still fumbling around and still trying to figure this thing out. Like I said, there's going to be people that, weren't even aware that they had class for whatever reason. And so they need a little bit of grace. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of grace with this time, just to make sure that you can get it done, especially if you're working, or you have a doctor's appointment. You'll be having different appointments with career services, and I don't want you to not do the participation question just because it closes at 12:30. So I tend to be a little bit flexible with this, not too flexible, but a little flexible because I want you to be able to get it done. All right. Now, to that end, I'll come back to the communication in a minute. I want you to understand that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, in addition to homework assignments, which we all know you have what's called this participation assignment, right? Participation assignment is very, very important. So you want to make sure that you do that because it's not just for attendance, it's also a grade. There are other assignments I call them homework assignments that you have every day as well, outside of your participation assignment. But the only difference between the participation assignment, which has to be done every day because it triggers your attendance, the registration office will go into the classroom and they will, because I post attendance and they look at attendance. If you didn't come and there's no attendance that I posted for you, then you don't get attendance. And that not only affects you being in the class, because you want to make sure that you follow your rules for, those of you that are on financial aid, you can't miss a certain amount of days, so that participation question is not just a part of your assignment and your grade, but it's also a part of you being able to be in attendance in the class. So it's very, very important that you do that participation assignment every day. Your other assignments you have, and I'm sure you'll be happy about this, you have all week to do. So you have assignments every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Most of them you can knock out, especially in the first week, you can knock them out fairly quickly, with the exception of one or two. I'm not going to make it sound like it's super easy, but um, even if you don't do an assignment that particular day, so let's say you have an assignment for today, you can get to it. Maybe you had to go to work. You have until Sunday to do the assignment, right? So even though it says Monday, and if you go into your online classroom, and if you don't do it, let's say it's Tuesday and you didn't do your Monday's assignment, and it says late, you don't have to worry about that, of course, because it was due Monday. It's going to say late. I don't take off late points. So you still have until Sunday to get it done. So every assignment, with the exception of that participation assignment, because it triggers attendance every day, you have until Sunday at 11:59 to do it. Now, do I recommend that you that you wait to do all your homework on the weekend? Please don't do that. I see a lot of people don't do well when they do it that way. But it doesn't mean that, maybe you did Monday's assignment, you couldn't get to Tuesday's assignment. And then maybe you did Wednesday's assignment. Maybe you don't do Tuesday's assignment until Saturday because it's a little bit longer of an assignment and you want to wait until you have some free time. You can totally do that, right? So the other good thing too is all assignments open up on Monday. So all assignments for the week, they open on Monday. So you technically can see all of your assignments now for the week. So if you are going out of town on Friday and you're like, okay, man, I want to knock all this out, I wouldn't recommend it unless you saw the video first. But if you feel comfortable and you read the chapters, Miss Taylor showed me how to get my book. I want to do my work early because I have to go out of town. I had a vacation that we already posted. You want to do it early, you can do that too, right? The only thing I'm going to say is that I don't teach class over the phone. I've had some people will like, Miss Taylor, I'm doing my work, and I don't understand what it is. Well, ma'am, sir, if you don't understand it, you're gonna have to wait. I'm not gonna teach you the work in advance so you can do the work early. So if you don't understand it, you're not comfortable with it, unless you have like a really simple question, fine. But please don't call and ask me to explain the entire assignment to you. And it's Monday and it's a Thursday class. That means you don't understand it. You need to wait for the live video. All right. Now, going back to communication, like I said before, technically, every professor has office hours. I try to be flexible with that because listen, I know the stress of being in school. I've been in school my entire life. I'm not joking, guys. My entire life I've been in school. And I was gonna say I'm done. I'm out of here, but I have to take a few more classes to do something. But I get it. So I have been a working student my entire life. So I try to be as flexible as possible because I get it. You don't have to do a lot of explaining to me. Life happens. I'm really big on just communicate. You can email me, you can text me. I'll give you my information in a minute. I do a lot of announcements every day. Please, the announcements tell you guys so much. So please check your student emails. It talks about the assignment. If there's any other information that you need to support you with an assignment, it's probably already in your email. So check your emails every day, because I over communicate in that way. You can call me. I'm going to give you my phone number here in a minute. Some of you may already have it if you've done orientation with your campus. The only thing that I ask is that obviously tell me who you are. I have a lot of students. So just say, hey, this is Sarah from Brandon. I have a quick question about blah, 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 right? Text me anytime. If you prefer to call. I always tell, like, listen, I'm old school. Do not send me a 2-page text. I'm not going to read it. I'm going to call you. And you're going to be, man, I want to talk to you. I'm like, so I'm sorry. I'm not reading all of that. If your question is easy, text me. If you know you need to talk, call me. Do not be afraid of me. That's why I put my face here so you can see me, right? I'm not scary. Call me. I prefer it. I'm old school. I prefer you just pick up the phone and call me, ask me what you want to ask. Unless it's easy. If it's real quick and you just want to text, fine. Hey, Miss Taylor, can I need this open again. Can you open that so I can turn it? Fine. Text, fine. Just tell me who you are because y'all saw all the different campuses on here, right? Please don't say, hey, this is Sarah. I'm gonna be like, oh my God. Sarah who? Sarah from what campus? Sarah from what class, right? And I'm gonna show you how to find out what class you're in because in addition to you being in different campuses, you're all in different, not all, but there's different classes, right? So I need to show you how to know which class you're in so you can tell me which class you're in. All right. I know you're like, what does that mean? We're all in the same class, but you're grouped differently. So I'll show you that in a minute, right? So communication is key. If you have an emergency, do not email me. If you're in the middle of a test and you have an issue, don't email me, right? Because I'm not going to see it while you're in the middle of your test. Just send me a quick text, right? Even if it's past 12:30, you can still reach out to me, right? I don't care. So like I said, I'm flexible in that way. Even though I have a class at night, if you don't get home to 6 o'clock and you're doing your work, because technically you have until Sunday, and you have a question, you can text me, you can call me. It's no big deal. Yes? We understand? Big thumbs up on that. All right. So let's talk. Go ahead. Okay. Jacquees, I almost got you, right? I was like, yes, you have a question. um, let's talk about how the structure is broken down. Your assignments. So I already talked a little bit about participation, right? So you get, in addition to it triggering your attendance, you also get a grade for participation because it is an assignment, right? And it's 25% of your grade, that participation assignment, which is one of the reasons why it's important to do it. That's a lot of points, 25%. Your other assignments that are due by the end of the week, they're worth 40% of your grade. You will have what's called a final project, and it's just going to be that career plan outline, but it comes in like 3 different parts, and we'll do the first part tomorrow. That's 15% of your grade. Very, very important, guys. Then you'll have 2 tests. You'll have a midterm next week on Thursday, and you'll have your final 2 weeks after that on the following Thursday. Right? So you don't have 2 assessments. They're both open book, no timeline on it, no time limit on it. So you don't have to stress out about that. All right. All right. So what I want to do now, does anybody have any questions on any of that? Don't worry about all of that now. We just worry about what's in front of us, right? So put all that to the side. I want to walk you through the class, right? Give me a thumbs up if you've been in the classroom already. Maybe your campus has walked you through it already. I see a few people. Okay. All right. So not everybody. All right. So let's definitely walk through. All right. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to switch over. I'm going to put the Stop sharing. And we're going to walk through the class. Now, ATA, your classroom is just a different color, so don't worry. STC is blue. Yours is, I think, orange or yellow. So, but everything else is the same. When you go into the classroom, does everybody know how to get to here? Anybody not know how to get here? Raise your hand if you don't know how to get here. Just making sure guys have to. All right. Now, once you get here, this is considered, I like to call it the landing page. There's some good information here, right? If you scroll up a little bit, it's a couple of things that you can get from this landing page. And I don't know why it's not showing everything. Let me refresh. That is so weird. Home. There should be a lot more on that landing page. Okay, here we go. This is your landing page, sorry. Home, right? So it talks about, number one, when the class begins and when the class ends. The class ends on Thursday at 10 p.m. So unlike, once the class opened, it opened today, and then you have until 11:59 to do your work on Sunday, 11:59 to do your work on Sunday. Until the last day of class, you only have until 10 p.m. to do that work. But don't worry, you'll get access to that work a little bit earlier. But I just want to highlight, and I'll continue to talk about this throughout the class, the last day of class ends at 10 p.m. If you don't know, every day it's right here. The last day of class ends at 10 p.m. All right. I talked to you a little bit about those office hours. They're right here, right? We have to put out office hours. But Miss Taylor said that I can call her anytime I want, in the voice of my daughter. Yes, you can. You can call me anytime you want. All right. Only thing I say, don't call me after 10 p.m. And 10 p.m. is because I have a night class that runs from 6 to 10. So if they can call me, you can call me. Don't call me after 10. All right. All right. But anyway, we have to put the official hours, so I put them there. Your live session is at 9 o'clock. If anybody wants to know what time is my live session, it's right there. If you want to access the live session, this is one way you can do it. Now, this is a page. This is just a little shortcut page that I create. Every instructor is different, but I put this here so you can see it. Everything that's on this home page, you can access from this section called modules. This is like the table of contents, and we'll walk through that in a minute. But on this landing page, you can get here, you get a shortcut to the live session, which you guys are on, so you know how to use it. But for those that may be watching this video, I'm just going to click on it. All you have to do is click here. And then you go down to this section, and it tells you class is at 9 o'clock. Live sessions at 9 o'clock. If you don't know how to use the Office Teams, it shows you that, or you can just click right here to join the live session. All right. So going back, I just have to go back, because if I go back, it's going to look a little weird. So if I go back to the home session section, I talked about what happens if you miss the live session, right? For those of you that may be watching the video, that's going to be you. So you are going to click here where it says past live sessions. You just got out of your dentist appointment, like I need to go do. You're going to click on past live sessions. When you click on past live sessions, right now there's nothing there because we haven't finished the class yet, but they are organized by week, right? So it's very difficult to get lost. Once we finish the live session, I'm going to come here. It's going to say Monday, and I'm going to say 4/6/26 live session, and there's going to be a link because I'm going to link this live conference. So if you come tomorrow and you can't make it, you're going to come, you're going to click, Tuesday, and the live session recording will come up. You can watch it to do your homework, to get your participation question, whatever you need. These live sessions stay up throughout the class. So even if you're in week 2 and you need to do an assignment from Monday of week 1, you can come to Wednesday and click on it and get that video. Any questions on that? All right. So those are the main things on the home screen. Like, it's a good little shortcut. You get your grades, you get help from here. But what I really want to focus on is, well, let's talk a little bit about announcements, because I really want to get to modules. But let's go to announcements. Like I said, this is where you'll go and you'll see your announcements. Now, I'm not looking at this as a student. If I looked at it as a student, then you're just going to see the 2 announcements that I put out for you today. One is the welcome, which this is really cool because I kind of talk about everything that we discussed today. I did a little video. You can watch it if you want, but it's just talking about what we talked about now. It also talks about the class, everything I discussed. It talks about the different sections and the timing, different campuses, with the exception of ATA. ATA, you have your own script because you're not part of STC, but STC, all the different campuses, pay attention to what your campus has said. It may be different here in terms of, do you have to come to the campus because the session is online? Some of you have to come to the campus on the first day. Some have to come for the first week. Some of you are at home. Just make sure you pay attention to what your campus has required you to do. They just want to make sure that you know what you're doing, and they want to be able to give you support. That's why they put out these requests for you for this class. Some other important stuff, probably the main thing, because everything here is everything I've already discussed in class. You do have we'll activate your book. We'll do that in a few minutes, but I wanted to give you my phone number. So if you want to go ahead and write my phone number down, some of you may have gotten a different phone number. I have both of them. It doesn't matter, but which one you use. But I prefer you to use this phone number here. It's 689-203-4041. That is a cell phone number, so you can feel free to text and do whatever. You can also email me at ctaylor, ATA. Instead of saying STC, it says ATA, but you can see that in your thing. But you can also just use STCs as well if you want. It's interchangeable. I'll get it either way, because if you see over here where it says inbox, if a student emails me, I'll see it, right? If anybody wants to write down that number, go ahead and do it, but it's still there, so you can do it later. All right. So these are the announcements that I was talking to you about. Like I said, guys, read the announcements because 90% of the questions I've already addressed in the announcements. All right. So if you go down here you can always track your own grades by just clicking on grades. Going to that really quickly. You never have to ask, oops, nope, let's not do that. Thank you. Let me go back as a student. There's no grades there, thank God. If I go to grades really quickly, you never have to really ask, hey, Miss Taylor, how am I doing in class? You can just go to grades and you can see all the assignments that you have are here. Don't look at it because it's going to look like a lot, but it's not. A lot of those are just participation questions. But if you ever are curious about, A, how am I doing in the class? B, did I turn something in? Especially that participation question, guys, because it has a time date on it, time stamp on it. Today's Monday live conference participation question. If there's a dash there, that means you didn't turn it in. So you don't have to say, Miss Taylor, did I turn it in? You can just come right here to grades. Is there a dash there? You didn't turn it in. Maybe something happened with their technology. We know technology is not perfect. If you turned it in, then there's going to be a little piece of paper with squiggly lines on it. That means you turned it in. So you don't have to say, Miss Taylor, did I turn it in? The next question will be, how come Miss Taylor hasn't integrated my paper yet? But you'll just see a little piece of paper. If I've graded it, then you'll actually see the score, right? So the score will be there. If you get anything under a 60, you'll also see my notes. And it'll tell you what would happen. Would you do wrong? Blah, blah, blah. If you turn something in and you see notes there, 9 times out of 10, there's some error or something happened with what you turned in. I have people that turn in the wrong assignment. They get confused. I have people that don't follow the instructions. And I tell you, I'm sending this back to you because you didn't follow the instructions. There's only 2 assignments that I do that on because I want to make sure you get it right. One of them has to do with your career plan project, and the other one has to do with, well, there's 3 then. The other one is your resume, and then the third one is a resume project that we're going to do on Thursday. You know, those 3 assignments I don't play around with. If you do it wrong, I'm going to send it back and say, give you an opportunity to correct it, because especially with the career project, because it's a 3-step process. So if you do the first step wrong, you're going to do the second step wrong. So I want to make sure you get it done right. Right. So you can manage your own grades here. You don't really have to ask, you know, hey, what's going on with my grades? All right. Now, if we go to modules, there's a couple of things that we can do together if you're following along. The first thing that you want to do is activate your book, right? Before you can look at the book, you need to activate your subscription. So all you have to do here is click activate my subscription. Am I going too fast for anyone? Is everybody okay? All right, and see very quickly, my subscription is activated. Yeah. Now, once I've done that, I can then, if I go back to modules, and I keep going back, but technically, well, you see, if you scroll down here to the right, y'all see that next button? You can, what I like to call, turn the page just by clicking next. But I kind of want you to see where you are, you know, so that's why I go back to the main page. But if you click it now, you can just go right into reading your book. Now, the entire book isn't, you're not reading the whole book for this class. I mean, feel free to read the whole book if you want. We're only using a few chapters in the book. So what you want to do, the next important thing in the modules, I mean, it's, you know, the book is always there for you to read, is for you to scroll down a little bit. You'll see here, it says supplemental videos. We'll be, you know, watching these videos throughout the class. You know, if you want to watch them early, that's up to you, but they're part of different assignments. The next important thing is your online pledge, but you can see here too, see, I gotta change that. That should say 9. You can access the live conference here too, right? You can just click here, right? So you don't have to use my shortcut. Some people actually did that by clicking here. And then if you scroll up a little bit, if you notice, none of your assignments you have access to yet. You see how they're grayed out? That's because you have to do what's called an online pledge. Now, if you've already done your online pledge because your campus has already taught you how to do that, then yours is not grayed out. But for the rest of us, we need to do the online pledge. So if you want to follow along with me, you can do it now if you want. This is just an online pledge that says that you pledge to do your own work, right? Your little sister's not going to do your work for you. You're not going to give her your password to get in and $5 to do your work, right? So you're going to say, yes, I'm an online student. I know that being an online student, take it from someone that's been an online student for most of her career, it requires a lot of responsibility and dedication and discipline, right? And you are going to do that yourself. You're going to monitor your own grades. You don't need to ask the instructor, what's my grade? You can do it yourself. You can do your own work. Yeah, Miss Taylor, I get it. So you're just going to take the quiz, hit that green button, and then you only have to do an affirmation once, that you're saying you affirm that you did not get any unauthorized help on your work. So you're just going to say, I agree. And then you hit submit quiz. And once you do that, then your classwork will open. This is a big step because I know a lot of students, anytime they say, Miss Taylor, I can't access my work, 9 times out of 10, that didn't happen. So if you have friends that did not make it here today and they was like, man, I can't get in the class, you know what, how come I can't do my work? Just ask them, did you do your pledge? Thank you in advance for supporting the teacher on that. Because 9 times out of 10, that is what happens, right? So once you do that pledge, then you have access to the work. Yeah. Now, just going back to modules again, just to orientate you to where you are. If we scroll down now, and I'm just going to go to week 1 because that's where we are, right? The next thing that you want to do is to look at your readings. But before I do that, I want to show you something. Every day, you can kind of see what you have to do. For Monday, you have conference question, and we'll click on that in a minute. And then we also have our assignment. So this is our homework assignment. So your conference question typically is always first. That's the thing that you need to be done by 12:30. And then you have your homework assignment, and you have until 11:59. Once you click in there, you'll see the time that it's due, so you don't have to remember it. But I also wanted to just show you, you have Tuesday's work, Wednesday's work, Thursday's work. You see that, right? So you don't ever really have to wonder, what do I have to do for this week? And you have access to all of this now. So going back to, let's go to our live conference question. If we click on that live conference question, there's one thing I want you to notice. The question is not going to be here because you have to watch the video or be in the live session to get it. Yes, we do that on purpose. That's our way of saying we've taught you. Whether you have chosen to listen or not, that's another question. Obviously, there will be people that will open the video and scroll to the end and get the live conference question. We're not children, we're adults. If you choose to do that, that is on you. You opened up the video, that means you had access to the information. If you just want to get the question from it, that's on you. Get the question, you come here to answer that question. How do you do that? All you have to do is click Start Assignment. You see that? Hit Start Assignment. Once you hit Start Assignment, oh, but let me show you this one thing. Sorry. Oh, shoot. Yeah, let me scroll back up real quick. Now, Ms. Taylor told you that this assignment is due by 12:30 every day. But you may notice something. Look at what Ms. Taylor did. Oh my God, I like her already. She put an extension on this. Shh. Right? Because I already know I'm going to have tons of students that are not going to get done by 12:30. So instead of having 5 people call me saying, Ms. Taylor, can you please? I already know. I've been doing this for many, many years. I'm already giving an extension. Please don't ask to go beyond. I'm going to say no because I'm already gave you an extension to get this done. Until you get comfortable, then I'm going to eat that 5 o'clock is going to start etching back up to close to that 12:30, right? But I know you guys need time to get it done. Not really, but I mean, to get into the habit, to get into the swing of things. So you'll see when it's done, and you get to see how many points it's worth as well, right? So once you get your question, which I'm about to give you, you come here, and once you hit Start Assignment, you have a couple of options, right? You can upload a document. You won't ever need to do that for participation question. So most participation questions you can answer just by using the text entry button. And all you have to do, if you know how to text, you know how to do this. Just answer my question in a complete sentence. That's all I ask you to do. If I say, what is your favorite color, which I won't say, but let's just pretend, then you are going to come here and you're going to say in a complete sentence, my favorite color is purple. And then what you do is go down here to this green button and you hit submit. And if you want to go back to your grades to double check that it posted, you can do that. But that's how you turn in anything, whether it's your participation assignment or your homework assignment is either going to be a file or a text. If you're on Google Drive, you can go here to Google Drive and upload it from Google Drive or even Office 365. Yes? Any questions on that? All right. So, like I said, if I wanted to go now that I've finished this participation assignment, let me hit next so I can go to this homework assignment Miss Taylor's talking about. Now, in this homework assignment, I want you to notice that yes, it's due today, right? It is also worth 100 points, but it's not. I still have until April 12th at 11:59. Y'all see that? So you don't ever have to say, how long do I have to do this assignment? Yeah. Everything else is the same with the exception of with your homework assignments, the question is embedded in the assignment. This got moved over from this thing. So sorry, it's all. But here, the question for this assignment is there. So the participation assignment, the question or whatever task won't be in the assignment, but all the homework assignments, the question will be there. So your homework assignment for today says to answer, how can an online presence like LinkedIn or Instagram enhance your career and access to potential employers? Provide at least 2 examples. So you're going to answer that question and give me 2 examples. You want to read the chapters first, which I'm going to show you where to get the chapters. That's why, take your time. Don't just try to run out and answer this question. Some of us may want to take today just to read. You can always come back and do this tomorrow. You have until Sunday to do it, right? So don't think just because it's due today for the homework assignment that you have to do it today, right? If you feel comfortable answering it, based on the text because you've read the chapter, that's fine too. The chapters are not that big to read. Most of them are less than 20 pages, even if that, right? All right. Now, to that point, let me go back. The last thing I'm going to show you is how to access those chapters because, like I said, I didn't assign the whole book. But if you ever want to know what chapters to read for the week, just to get, started reading, you'll see here, you scroll down and it tells you which chapters to read for the week. So I said here to read what chapters 1, 2, and 7. Obviously do them in order. Read chapter 1 first. We will discuss chapter 1 tomorrow. We'll discuss chapter 2 on Wednesday, and then we'll discuss chapter 7 on Thursday. Are there any questions? All right, all right. I told you I was only going to talk for an hour, so I guess my time is up. All right, well, if y'all don't have any questions, let me just go back to our PowerPoint. I need a new second computer, guys. This computer's slow. I need to just let it go. All right. Pull up my PowerPoint again. If it wants to come up. What? Did that wrong. No, I don't want to do that. Go ahead, Crystal.
All right. We're all down at ACA location. We're all wondering what the question is for the participation.
That's what I'm trying to pull up. You see me struggling over here by computer. Why y'all calling me out like that? I gave a disclaimer that this computer is old. Hold on, I'm trying to pull it back up. She was like, listen, we waiting. Yes, just be patient, my friend. She was why you had to call me out like that? All right, here we go. It was moving too slow. All right, so here we go. Here's the participation question for today. I want to know, what do you hope to gain from this course? What do you hope to gain from this course? That's it, right? I know, all that for that. What do you hope to gain from this course? And I know I talked a little bit about, what the class is about, but what do you hope to gain from this course? I really want to read these responses. Maybe it's something that I can incorporate. Huh? I have a question for y'all. What color is my shirt? That's not the question, but I want to see, am I colorblind? Does it look white and black or green and black to y'all? Go ahead. Somebody tell me. I know it's like, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Because I'm paranoid. It looks green and black to me, but it's white and black. That's weird. Okay, anyway. I think I have some colorblind issues. All right, y'all. If you don't have anything else for me, hasta mañana.
I think your shirt is green and black.
Okay. It's not, but
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Maybe that's how it's coming across. Are you being
I
funny?
think it's blue and black.
No, you made me laugh because you said it's not. I thought it was green and black. It looked green and black.
Somebody else said blue and black.
Maybe
Are
I'm
y'all being
colorblind.
funny?
Yeah,
Y'all
it
trying.
looks blue.
It does, right? Because I'm looking at it on this screen, but it's white and black.
Yeah, I
Okay,
agree.
listen, when you wear glasses, anybody that is visually challenged, y'all know we always nervous, like, oh my God, is my eyesight getting worse?
You can unmute yourself. Because she was asking a question. I was going to type it in, but I like, didn't see it anyway. So, and I seen another person spoke. So I spoke.
Okay, thank good. It's not just me. All right, I got a couple more years with my eyes. Okay, very good. That's all I care about. Okay. I was like, oh, what is happening? Why do I see different colors? I was getting nervous. Okay. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you. You as well.
Okay, bye-bye.